Alright, so the title of this one is The Birth Pains in a New Creation. And I also could have said The Labor Pains in a New Creation, but it's the same thing. And I want to read two different passages. One is the Theaetetus, and it's Socrates talking to Theaetetus about midwifery or the meiotic function, and about labor and birth and what it produces. Another one's from John, but let me just read you the two passages and then you'll kind of see what I'm getting at because they're correlated. So Socrates is talking to Theaetetus and they're talking about midwives and their role. And then Socrates responds to Theaetetus with this. He says, "Now my skill of a midwifery is, in general, similar in character to theirs, but it differs by delivering men and not women, and by looking after their souls rather than their bodies when in labor. But the greatest thing about my skill is that it is able to test in every respect whether the mind of the young man is bringing forth an image and a lie, or something genuine and true. Now I do have this in common with the female midwives. I bring to birth no wisdom, and many people reproach me for this, since I ask questions of others while I myself proclaim nothing about anything, because I have no wisdom. Their reproach is true, but the reason is that the God compels me to act as a midwife and has prevented me from giving birth. So of course I myself am not at all wise, nor have I any invention that is born of my own soul. However, it is different for those who associate with me. Some of them also appear quite ignorant at first, but as our relationship proceeds, all whom the God allows progress to a wonderful degree. Such is their own belief and that of others, and it is obvious that they have never learned anything from me. Rather, they have discovered from themselves much that is beautiful, and have brought it to birth. However, both I and the God are responsible for the delivery. The proof is that over the years, many who were ignorant of this regarded themselves as responsible, despised me, and went away sooner rather than they should, persuaded either by themselves or by others that once they had left me, they miscarried whatever remained within them through bad company, and destroyed through improper care whatever fruits I had delivered from them, placing more value on images and lies than upon the truth. They ended up being regarded as ignorant both by themselves and by everyone else." And I'll skip down and read one more part of it. He says, "Now, my associates have another experience in common with women in childbirth. They are pained and full of distress, both night and day, even more than the women. But my skills can arouse or relieve this pain, and that is the plight they are in. The reason I am speaking to you at such length is that I suspect, as you yourself believe, that you are pained by something you are carrying within. So come to me, the son of a midwife, who is skilled in the midwife's art, and strive to answer my questions as best as you can. And if I consider something you have been saying to be an image and untrue, I can take it out and discard it. Do not be angry with me like new mothers over their children. Indeed, many before you, dear friend, had such an attitude towards me as to actually bite me whenever I take something nonsensical away from them. They do not believe that I do this with good intentions, and they are far from realizing that no God ever intends harm towards humanity, nor do I act in this way from ill intentions. But I am not allowed to accept falsehood or conceal the truth. And do not say that you are not able, for if God wills it, and you summon up your manhood, you will be able." So that's the passage from the Theaetetus. Let me read one from John real quick. And this is about sorrow being turned into joy. It starts in John 16:20-21. He says, "Most assuredly I say to you that you will weep and lament, but the world will rejoice, and you will be sorrowful. But your sorrow will be turned into joy. A woman, when she is in labor, has sorrow because her hour has come. But as soon as she has given birth to the child, she no longer remembers the anguish, for joy that a human being has been born into the world." So you can maybe see how they're connected already. In the case of Socrates and Theaetetus, it's about kind of like the intellectual birth pains, I guess, or these people come with questions and he is like a midwife in that he helps deliver them to the truth or help them reach the truth so they can deliver it themselves, but he never actually tells them the truth or gives them direct wisdom. He just assists in their labor pains, I guess, of their reasoning, and he keeps questioning them until they give birth to it. But some walk away ignorantly and they just like have a miscarriage and just discard what he just said. And I also like the line where it says, "You are pained by something you are carrying within." So I guess to relate back to the title of the birth pains in a new creation, when you think about a woman in labor, or just the term labor pains, it's two things. It's labor, which is work, which is you're producing something. It's got a generative, productive like aspect to it. You're working towards something. And then pains of just painful things, suffering, struggle, and you're fighting for something. And the labor pains, they go together. You're working to generate something, but you're struggling and you're trying to bear these pains. And I guess also you have these contractions that, or these birth pangs or birth pains, and they come closer and closer together. They get more intensified, they increase in your life, and they're leading to a birth. They're leading to a new creation, something that will like turn your sorrow and struggle into joy and something good actually coming out of it. And in order for there to be a birth, there must be like a struggle, and it's painful and it's hard and it's suffering. But once the woman goes through all these pains and suffering, they intensify, they reach a climax. And when the baby is born, when something emerges new out of it, when you generate something, birth is just a genesis, which is just a creation or a beginning of something. It started with the seed in which you conceive something, you bear it through the pains, and then you deliver it. And once you deliver it and there's a birth, there's a transformation that happens about it transforms you from that experience or the thing that you suffered through, which change you, but it will bring forth a new creation and a redemption in a way, because the suffering was worth it, because look what you got out of it. But a lot of times in our life, we don't see that a child's coming. We don't see like what's going to be birthed. We don't see the other side of it. And we're wondering why we're going through these struggles and pains. But there is something on the other side that's going to come out of it. And sometimes we see it, sometimes we see parts of it, sometimes we don't see it at all. But it's worth it in the end. And I guess when I was reading as far as like Socrates, he's talking about how there's a barren woman without life, or there's a pregnant woman and there's a midwife, the art of midwifery, or being a midwife, in which they assist through your birth. They help you through the pains, but they're not going to give you, you have to still birth the child yourself. I mean, they can only help so much. They support you, but you have to go through it yourself. And he also talks about like the offspring of souls and how he's trying to let people reach the truth and assist them in that. I think that's pretty much it, pretty much covers it. The overall gist is that you go through the birth pains, you go through the labor pains for a new creation, for a redemption, for a transformation, and it will turn your sorrow into joy. And there's also, when I said about how the genesis is the seed or the conception of something, how it starts at the beginning of the genesis, and then it generates, it has a generation. Like you think about the next generation of people is because there's the offspring or the next people that have been generated from obviously the mothers that went through the struggling or whatever. But in order for a generation, there has to be labor, there has to be pains, there has to be, it's not easy to get to the next generation of thing, or to generate something, or for something to emerge. It's a struggle for it to emerge. And I guess to think about in my life, or maybe you could think about in yours, about whatever you're working towards, it's a constant struggle, but there will be fruit that you bear from the struggle and the suffering, and you will give birth to something. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but you'll give a birth to a new creation, and it'll be worth your time. And that's all I got. Peace.